The show opens inside a haunted hotel where a single mother named Catherine and her kids reside after inheriting it from Catherine's dead brother, Nathan, who now lives in the hotel as a ghost. Upon their first guest's arrival, Catherine hides a possessed boy named Abaddon before welcoming the guest. While her kids, Esther and Ben, help Nathan clear out a room for the guest, Catherine becomes disappointed to find that her guest is a ghost. At dinner, Catherine shares her frustration about the ghosts who won't leave her and her kids alone. She decides to contact an exorcist. Nathan finds Catherine very inconsiderate for taking such measures and reminds her that her brother is a ghost as well. Their conversation gets interrupted by a ghost who pees in their hallway and runs off. On the other hand, Esther convinces Ben to flirt with the ghost of Annabelle in order to find her corpse, because Esther has an ulterior motive of possessing her diamond necklace. Later that day, Catherine discovers that the ghosts get to have their town hall meetings, so she interrupts them and tells them to limit themselves to the attic, but they boo at her and drive her away. Meanwhile, Ben tries to flirt with Annabelle, but ends up discovering that he can touch her and experience a cosmic euphoria beyond this realm. He asks Catherine for her permission to date Annabelle, but Catherine decides to call the exorcist and get rid of all ghosts. Esther convinces Catherine to let Ben date Annabelle and reveals her actual plan, so Catherine allows them to do whatever they want. Suddenly, the exorcist arrives at their hotel without being contacted. She takes a tour of the hotel and begins containing the ghosts in their rooms using a spell. She also unveils the history of the hotel, claiming that the hotel used to be a prison and an asylum where people were assassinated, disappeared, and mistreated. Hence, its ground became one of the 6 doors to hell, which draws the unnecessary evil. Suddenly, one of the regular ghosts spawns out of nowhere to bother them. But the exorcist dominates him and kills him. With Catherine's permission, she starts exorcising the demons and banishing them to a void. When it's Nathan's turn, Catherine changes her mind and goes to Nathan to tell him that she won't be exorcising him, but the exorcist puts him in a void and runs off. Meanwhile, Esther and Abaddon bother Ben regarding Annabelle's corpse. Annabelle overhears their conversation and breaks up with Ben in disappointment. On the other hand, the exorcist turns out to be evil, who summons a demon from the possessed mirror. The demon starts to take over the hotel. The exorcist fears his wrath. So she joins Catherine and her family to use Ben as a conduit and summon the spirits of ghosts to fight the demon. Unfortunately, the demon purges her before that. Abaddon tries to remind the demon that they were acquainted in hell, but the demon tosses him like a fly and comes for Catherine. Esther quickly uses her black magic to turn Ben into a conduit. While she fends off the demon, Catherine convinces Nathan to return through Ben's body. Before agreeing upon that, he convinces Catherine to reinstate all ghost privileges. With Catherine's permission, all the ghosts return and banish the demon back in the mirror. Which Nathan breaks. The episode ends with Ben and Annabelle reconciling, and Catherine making Nathan the co-owner. The second episode begins with Nathan nagging about Catherine not letting him take the front desk as a co-owner, and Esther getting under the influence of Phoebe, a ghost with a hatchet stuck to her head. On top of that, the hotel's power gets cut off, and they face a blackout. Catherine decides to light some candles, but when she figures out that they are used for rituals, she switches to flashlights. During this, she accuses Phoebe of being a bad influence and reminds Esther that she has invited her classmate, Heather, whom she's been avoiding for some time. Esther storms out in rage, so Nathan suggests Catherine finish off Phoebe's unfinished business to get rid of her. Simultaneously, the ghost of an electrician named Jim checks the power circuit and tells Catherine that the real problem lies within the water mill in the forest, which generates electricity for their hotel. Suddenly, she watches Esther running away with Phoebe, so she goes after her and finds Heather arriving at their hotel. She tells her to sit in the parlor and goes to fetch Esther, who thinks Catherine is discriminating against ghosts. During their argument, Catherine sees something shimmering behind the walls, so she takes it down and finds out it's a club of ghosts. She becomes concerned for Esther when she finds out she's hanging out at this club with Phoebe as her gang member. She reminds Esther to check up on Heather and decides to stay back to get to know Phoebe properly. On the other hand, Nathan takes Ben and Abaddon to fix the watermill issue, where they get chased by an evil ghost.
All good, fellas. That's Cora. What's that? Cora, it's Nathan.
You have 10 seconds to get more snacks and like the video. You shouldn't play with terror.
While Catherine tries to find out Phoebe's unresolved business, the ghosts in the woods multiply and haunt Ben. But he retaliates and chases them away as he discovers the millkeeper's cottage. Catherine cooks Thanksgiving food for all the gang members. Esther figures out Catherine's plan and argues with her for not trusting her enough. Side by side, the boys get attacked by a beast with tentacles. Whereas Catherine confides in Phoebe her fear of heights. Phoebe tricks Catherine by locking her in the rooftop tower, where the strong wind pushes Catherine off the edge. But she hangs onto the edge with a firm grip. Nathan tricks the beast into following him, so it destroys the cottage and goes after him, sparing the boys. When the beast figures Nathan is a ghost, it comes after the boys. On the other hand, Catherine nearly dies, but Esther saves her by using paintings, which act as a portal and bring Catherine back to the hotel. Meanwhile, the ghost of the millkeeper saves Ben from getting killed and attacks the beast, allowing him and Abaddon to return to the hotel with Nathan. Esther finally sees Phoebe's true nature and finishes her business to send her to hell. The boys also return and fix the power issue by the end of the episode. The third episode opens with the notorious pillowcase killer obliterating a group of teens by the lake near Catherine's hotel in the 90s. In the present timeline, Catherine decides to date the local copy shop owner, Joel, so she leaves Esther in charge of the hotel since Ben is dumb and Nathan is a ghost. While Catherine gets ready, Nathan happily takes the front desk, Esther makes business proposals, and Ben decides to host a party for his classmates to look cool. Catherine starts getting cold feet and cancels her date last minute, but everyone physically pushes her out to go on the date. As she arrives at the pirate-themed restaurant selected by Joel, Ben welcomes his classmates, who ignore him and continue to party on their own, not knowing the pillowcase killer is coming for them. On the contrary, Catherine and Joel both make fake excuses to bail on each other, but when they catch each other's lies, they click and decide to continue to date. Back in the hotel, the pillowcase killer enters and attacks Nathan. When he finds out he's a ghost, he moves towards the parlor to attack the kids. Ben tries hard to get everyone's attention, but they ask him for private rooms for free. Esther doesn't appreciate it and tries to charge them, but Ben pushes her away, which angers her. Nathan appears through the walls to make the kids aware that the pillowcase killer has returned after 40 years. One of his victims appears as a ghost and tells the kids and Nathan that the pillowcase killer goes on a killing spree once a year, on the day he killed him and his friends by the lake. Ben decides to call Catherine, but Esther promises to take care of the situation under her supervision. Now she asks Ben to send his friends away and asks Nathan to track the killer. Abaddon comes out of a vent and asks to join them because he claims that the killer stole his hat 10 years ago. Catherine finds reasons to stay with Joel for longer so she quickly calls the kids to catch up with them. Before Ben spills everything, Esther lies about things being fine and throws Ben's phone away. Now Nathan follows the killer, aka PK, around the hotel. Abaddon attacks him, but he injures him severely and pushes him down the luggage lift. He ends up in the teens' room and starts drinking beer. Esther and Ben try to warn the teens of the danger, but they don't leave. Nathan also tries to stop PK on the balcony, but he throws a fit and goes after the kids. Catherine's date goes well, so she decides to bring Joel to the hotel, where the kids get cornered by PK at the entrance. Abaddon and Esther attack him, but he hurts them. Abaddon's arm also gets sliced off in the act. Suddenly, Ben and the victim ghost distract PK, allowing the kids to flee in their car. Suddenly, Catherine arrives with Joel, so Esther covers for everyone while the killer runs wild in the hallways. Just as he's about to leave, he witnesses Catherine making out in her room. He runs to kill her, so Nathan alerts the kids and goes after PK. Thanks for watching the video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe the video for more horror recaps like that.